Hi, kids. I know you can't see me real good. Okay, there you can. It's taking us, well, I am sorry for the lack of video. Like I said, I've been busy, because normally when I get off of work, I get off at 5:30. Well, I usually get off the work at 5:30. I say usually because sometimes we have to leave early because either A, lack of work, or B, there's situations where we might have the work but we have to leave early because, like during COVID, we had someone get COVID, and it was so bad that they actually said, "Oh, you can't stay here. You need to leave. We have to clean it out." And we've had instances where we just had to leave because something happened. Like one time while I was in Vegas with Grandma Puzzled Skunk, the pipes burst. So they left early because they can't because one of the pipes burst. They can't use any of the bathrooms, and you can't work with no bathrooms. I mean, technically you can, but then it would be considered inhumane and abuse. I think I'm not 100% sure on that, but yeah. So you shouldn't be working without bathrooms. That's not to say that there are companies that are stupid and do that. Don't do that, whatever. But yeah. So what's happening is I am taking out some garbage before my ride arrives because it is garbage day here in Puzzled Skunk's neighborhood. So, but the reason for this video is I wanted to talk about a couple of things really quickly. Because okay, so I should backtrack. Puzzled Skunk loves to watch Bluey. Puzzled Skunk watches it on Disney Plus as well as Disney Junior. I like Disney Junior. You will never get me to not like Disney Junior. Because I like Disney things. I like Disney things for little things, for what's considered like preschool age some of the time. No, it's not because Puzzle Skunk is one of those people. Because I know what you're thinking. Because there are people that are like, ooh, an adult likes preschool content? That means they must be they must be a pedo. No, people can like preschool content and not be pedos. And you also don't have to be mentally disturbed and or challenged to like them either. I mean, technically I am mentally challenged. Sort of. Because like autism is considered a mental disorder. Think. Don't quote me on that. Please don't attack me if I had that wrong. And please don't. And like, yes, I know I'm an Aspie. I should know these things, but I don't. That's okay. All right. Let's see. I need a good spot where the light is. I'm trying to stand in the light so y'all can see me. Ah, perfect. Okay. So the reason normally I would stand on the porch, but I want to stand in the light and I don't want to keep moving around on the porch. So, and if y'all are wondering, y'all might be wondering. Okay, so sometimes I don't post because I'm busy. So, yeah, I like to watch stuff, and I've been seeing advertisements for this thing called Firebuds. Now, when I make these statements and these questionings, I'm well aware I'm not the target audience. Okay, I had to point that out because some people think that I think that it matters. It doesn't, because it's just to entertain little babies. But the reason I'm asking these questions is because, well, I used to babysit Cousin Skunks 1 and 2 occasionally. And I used to, and when babysitting Cousin Skunk 1 and 2, the best thing to do is plop them in front of the television. You can play games with them, you can play with them. But the best thing, when they were younger, the best course of action was, at least for me anyway, so nobody got hurt and everybody stayed safe and nobody ran off while I couldn't find them, was Cousin Skunk 1, Cousin Skunk 2, I need you to sit on this couch. We're going to watch some Paw Patrol uh, till Auntie and Uncle Postal Skunk get back, and Auntie and Uncle Skunk get back, and then we can do something. Cause like I would play with them. Don't get me wrong. I'm the fun cousin. I do play with them, but at the same time, I try to save the let's play a game for when Auntie and Uncle Skunk are present, or another adult is present. I mean, I'm an adult. That's not me saying I'm not an adult. Quite the opposite. I am 100% an adult. However, I don't feel safe playing full-on games that require a lot of movement and or chasing around when there are no other adults besides myself present, just for safety. Because if it's just me, then yeah, we're gonna do sit down, be quiet, watch Bluey type stuff, or sit down, be quiet, use a coloring book. If we can't have TV for whatever reason, like if say Cousin Skunk 1 or 2 gets in trouble and no TV for both of them, just because Cousin Skunk 2, yeah, because it wouldn't be fair. Because like, okay, so like if they're not one of those people that's like Cousin Skunk 1 gets in trouble, so Cousin Skunk 2 has to suffer too. Nah, not always, but sometimes it's easier. Sometimes in this kind of situation, it's kind of hard to separate the both of them. So sometimes we just do quiet stuff together. So regardless, um, so sometimes we'll sit and watch TV and whatnot. So I got used to watching things like Little Einsteins, which I kind of used to watch when I was younger anyway. Not preschool, because I wasn't around for it when I was a preschooler. But like, I did used to watch it in the mornings. But the only reason I'd watch it in the mornings when I'm getting ready, because I used to watch it in the mornings getting ready for high school. But the only reason was because there was another show that I used to watch in the mornings when I would get ready for school that I like. And if you're a fan of Thomas the Tank Engine, you might like this. It's called Chuggington. Chuggington is cute. It's another one of those talking train shows. Which you'd be surprised. There's actually an abundance of them. So, like, I think there's like about 4. Because there's like Chuggington, um, Thomas the Tank Engine, obviously. Chuggington, let's see. There's another one about the London Underground. There's Ivan the Train. And then there's another one, but I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head. And then technically you've got stuff like Tugs and Theodore Tugboat and Sydney the Sailboat and um, Dive Ollie Dive, JJ the Jet Plane. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. But speaking of JJ the Jet Plane, there'll be a JJ video because I actually do want to talk about JJ the Jet Plane because reasons, like good reasons. But yeah, back to this whole thing about firebuds. So the reason I am talking about this is because one of the things I got used to watching with Cousin Skunk 1 and 2 that I actually like now, because like before Cousin Skunk 1 and 2 came along, I kind of was like, okay. Sorry, I was making sure that wasn't my ride. Before Cousin Skunk 1 and 2 came along, I liked the concept of Paw Patrol. I just didn't like the execution because it actually knocked out my favorite show, Mike the Knight. Because let's be honest, Mike the Knight was fucking everything. Because let's be honest here, medieval stuff, yes. Dragons that aren't actually bad, yes please. You actually don't see too many dragons that aren't actually evil. Like, I can only name about 5 instances where the dragon is not evil, and we're not counting Mushu because that's too obvious. Okay? Because, like, it's not, like, this is not obvious. So, the dragon in Animaniacs, which I can't remember his name, Dragon from Jane and the Dragon, because, I mean, he's not really evil. He's misunderstood. Because, like, he started as, like, the bad guy at the beginning, but that's just more out of misunderstanding than actual, I'm evil. What do you call it? Dragon from Dave Pickley's Dragon. And the reason I have to point that out is because there could be another show called Dragon somewhere and we don't know about. Well, that I don't know about anyway. The dragon in Shrek, which, again, it's kind of obvious. I mean, and then, of course, the dragons in Mike the Knight. And actually, I think there might be another one. If you can think of any. Oh, yeah. Wushu from. What do you call it? From Shaolin Showdown. If you can think of any more dragons that aren't evil and that are the main character, and don't mention Mushu because number 1, that's too obvious, and number 2, I really don't want to use Mushu because it's like, like everybody is most likely to pick Mushu. And I guess the dragon and spirit, and I guess Haku. So that's like 6, 7, I guess. So like 7 good dragons. Although to be fair, Haku spends most of the time in his movie, Spirited Away in his human form, not in his dragon form. So I don't know if I should count that. I'm gonna count it though, because he does actually have a chunk where he is dragon, so we'll count that. And I guess we could, I don't know, yeah. So if we can think of some other ones, be sure to let me know. But anywho, so Paw Patrol. Well, Cousins Cook 1 and 2 like Paw Patrol. Well, at least they used to. I don't know if they still do, but or at least Cousin Skunk 1 might still. I mean, Cousin Skunk 2 might still like. I'm not sure. But regardless, there's Paw Patrol. And the thought that kept running through my head was, first of all, where are Ryder's parents, and why the hell are they letting this little boy basically run the emergency services in Adventure Bay? Has nobody thought of that? And then secondly, assuming the parents do know and the parents don't care, why the hell is the mayor letting a little boy run the emergency services in Adventure Bay? And assuming a minute that the mayor doesn't really, well, okay, she does care because I've noticed in the series, whenever Ryder actually comes for help, or comes to help them, she's always really thankful and grateful, and it seems like she actually cares about Ryder and the pups. But, like, it's like, why exactly? What's going on here? Like, excuse me? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. So, I don't know. Like, I don't want to hate on Paw Patrol because it's cute. And then, like, I don't know, it's just there's stuff. So, all this to say, why? Just, why are they letting a little boy run the emergency services? With dogs, no less. I mean, at least with Chase and Marshall, it actually sort of kind of works as a bit of a, not only a pun, but also stereotypes much. Because Marshall, we'll go with Marshall first. Because not only is Marshall's name a fucking pun on Fire Marshal, which is dumb, not like bad dumb, just, it's like, once you figure it out, kind of, it makes you facepalm and go, ugh, kind of dumb. But it's cute kind of dumb. So, not only is Marshall's name a pun on a fire marshal, but as of course the stereotype is, he's not stupid, he's a fucking Dalmatian. Why would you want that? Why do you have to be so stereotypical? Huh? Okay, moving right along, we have Chase, which another silly pun on a police chase. And why is Chase I'm gonna say German Shepherd. I think he's supposed to be a German Shepherd. I could be wrong. But again, stereotypes. Most police dogs are German Shepherds. Or, not all, but a lot of them are. I think that's kind of, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Also, okay, so, like, Adventure Bay is the only place that has dogs that rescue. So then my thought is, in Big City, I don't think it's actually called Big City. We're just calling it Big City because I have not seen the Paw Patrol movie and I need to. And yes, I will be watching the Paw Patrol movie because I do want to see it. Because I've heard it's supposed to be good. But we're going to call it Big City. So, Big City is the only place that doesn't, other places don't seem to have it. But they see Adventure Bay and then all of a sudden, I propose a theory. And Pat, I'm going to direct this section at you because you're the theory guy and you did a few Paw Patrol videos. I have a theory here involving Paw Patrol. Now, of course, you made the thought that some of these puppies aren't new puppies. They're like old puppy, like when a puppy gets too old or they die in battle, Ryder just replaces them. I partially agree with that statement, but also partially don't. This is what I think. I think that the pups are genetically engineered because they can all talk and Ryder can actually understand them, and so can the other humans in Adventure Bay. I personally believe that Ryder is a kid, but he is a genetically engineered kid. So basically, I think Ryder's parents are scientists that live in big city. They built Adventure Bay as a testing ground because they are trying to make super puppies. Now, the reason they're making super puppies, super puppies and a super boy, the reason they're making super puppies is because they're trying to see if they can help the government and the military. So they use Adventure Bay as a training ground for the super puppies until they become like adults. And once they're adult dogs, they're super dogs and they can go off into war and do stuff that the humans are either incapable of because of safety or incapable of because of whatever. So the super dogs can like save the day. So there's that. Then you have to contend with, in addition to the super dog situation, I also have the thought that not only are they super dogs, they're super dogs in training, but Ryder is designed to be their handler, as well as he is designed to not only be a good handler for the dogs, but he works as a good cover for the government. So what ends up happening is Ryder trains the puppies and whatnot until they get old enough. Which is why some of the stuff has already been used and why Rubble has to grow into those things. Because he just came out of we're going to call it the kindergarten. And yes, I know I'm mixing Steven Universe and Paw Patrol. I'm sorry, I don't care. It's just easier to explain it using Steven Universe allegories here. Basically, the kindergarten. They build them in the kindergarten and they let them out in Adventure Bay. When they're old enough, they come to collect them in the middle of the night and replace them with a new puppy. Now, the reason they do it this way is because the government needs the super dogs, and they don't want to make it public knowledge because the super dogs are not really something that the public needs to know about. Now, once they become actual full-on dogs and they are no longer puppies, they are still able to speak to humans, but they're not really able to be understood by them. The only people that can understand them are the people that are their handlers and or those in the platoon that they work with. So that, it's a safety thing. Because the general public should not be allowed to understand the dogs. But as puppies, for their training purposes, they are allowed to be understood by humans and understand them. To better preserve the studies as well as the training so that they can properly save the day. Then, of course, we have situations like the cats. We're not talking about the cat pack because I have not seen that yet. I do need to see that. I have not seen that yet. We're not talking about the cat pack. We're just talking about the evil cats that work with the evil mayor. So, we should backtrack a minute and get to Mayor Goodwin. Mayor Goodwin actually works for the government as well and is actually an FBI agent, basically. And the reason she has her cute little pet chicken, Chicoletta, is just because why not? Okay, let's be honest. Chicoletta is adorable. Okay, yes. So, basically, Chicoletta is just a regular chicken. But the reason that Mayor Goodwin is there is because she's an FBI agent who was sent there to make Adventure Bay look legitimate. And they chose an FBI person as opposed to someone else because they wanted somebody that could look and act like an average Joe, but that had high security clearance that was not part of the military. They didn't want a military member because that would be too obvious, and also it wouldn't be safe because they need all the people they can get. And so of course she's there. That's why she always quote unquote yelps for help, because she wants to test them to see how the puppies are doing. And when the things that go wrong in Adventure Bay do go wrong, it's part of the training and the testing. The only exception I will say is like that there's like a few episodes that don't fit. like the Halloween episode. Well, I'm calling it the Halloween episode, but the episode where Rocky turns into like a werepup. Yeah, that doesn't fit. So yeah, looks like my ride's here. I will see you guys in the next video. There will be more about this because I have a lot to say and I want to share as much as I can because, yes, please. Alright, bye bye.